Hello there, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, survivor, advocate, and certified trauma recovery coach from danaarcuri.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy 2022 to all of you. Today's topic is going to be a very intriguing subject, and it might be something that you experienced or it could be something that you have never experienced, but it's going to shine the light on narcissistic abuse and the very different aspects within it. And so today I am going to talk about ignoring and ghosting the narcissist. Expect the unexpected. And so we're going to start with the facts that most abuse survivors who have personally suffered narcissistic abuse and any other form of toxic relationships typically have experienced being discarded. So you're very used to, and you have been through the very horrifying situations in which the narcissist or the toxic people not only discarded you, but they gave you the silent treatment. They may have ignored you, or they may have just ghosted you. And while this is actually more common for a malignant narcissist to do the ignoring and the discard and the ghosting, we're going to flip the switch today and kind of reverse the roles. And there's a lot to shine the light on about this topic because I have personal experience with it. And so we have to understand there's a lot of dynamics that go into what takes place with the scapegoat or the black sheep of the family who is suffering decade and decade of abuse, turmoil, manipulation, gaslighting, smear campaigns, and on the three-ring circus goes. And so we have to understand that typically we are very used to the narcissist having their little 2-year-old temper tantrums, and they go through the hoovering stage, and then they go through the victim blaming stage, and there's a lot of crazy making that takes place. But if we want to really focus on, what is ghosting and what happens, how does the narcissist respond when we ghost them? And so we want to first define what is ghosting. And there's going to be a lot of educational content in this video. So sit down, grab your cup of coffee or tea, and let's jump right into it. So let's define ghosting. According to Psychology Today, ghosting is abruptly ending communication with someone without an explanation. Oftentimes, those who have suffered narcissistic abuse or very toxic relationships reach a breaking point in which they cannot remain in a dysfunctional relationship with whoever this person could be. So again, the narcissist could be a spouse, an intimate partner, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, your mother, your father, your brother, your sibling. It could be anyone, typically. And so we have to keep an open mind about this. But what we can understand is that when we are in the midst of the manipulation and the gaslighting and the bullying and the smear campaigns, triangulation of relationships, etc., we are really suffering so much because this is psychological abuse. It is very traumatic. And so it is exhausting, mentally, physically, spiritually draining for us, the survivors of this despicable abuse. And so we can understand that, when we have been the victim of this type of abuse, we may not at first know what's going on, but as time goes on, we start understanding, this is what's happening. They're showing signs of narcissistic personality disorder, and they're revealing very clear signs and symptoms of psychological abuse. And there's so much dysfunction in these dynamics, and we can understand it is very, very bad for our mental health. And so when we realize how bad this is for our mental health, it becomes pointless and unproductive for us to keep explaining ourselves to the narcissist, to keep arguing with them, to keep giving fuel to the fire. Now, remember, a narcissist is very clever. They want narcissistic supply, and they will do whatever it takes to get it from you. And so one key is to really educate yourself about narcissistic personality disorder, to understand the signs and the covert tactics of narcissistic abuse, so you can walk away from this really, really unstable, unhealthy dynamic. We may choose to eventually quit playing the game. So, here's the real facts. When there is a narcissist, they're playing mind games. They want to mess with your head. They want to trip you up. They want to overpower you and control you. We must understand they are control freaks. They have a huge, ginormous ego. They think they are superior to you. They think you're inferior to them, and we can't change a narcissist. We can't fix a narcissist. I personally believe therapy typically fails for a narcissist. Now, why does therapy fail for a narcissist? Number one reason, they will not self-reflect. They will not take accountability nor responsibility for their cruel and abusive words, actions, and behaviors. Therefore, they cannot change. Therefore, they will not change. Therefore, despite all therapy, times that they try therapy, times that they might be forced into it, maybe the wife of the narcissist is insisting, hey, we have to go into couples therapy, regardless of who this narcissist is, whether it is your mother, your father, your siblings, a spouse, an intimate partner, etc., they're not going to change. There's nothing you can do about it. But what you can do is take back your power. And the first step is to educate yourself. The second step is to speak up. The third step is to walk away. And sometimes when we walk away, we raise our head high and we do not give an explanation. We don't write a letter and explain ourselves. Why? Because we've already spent decades. Some of us have spent a lifetime explaining ourselves to the narcissist, and to our dismay, it has been unproductive, unsuccessful. It has failed. And so finally we reach this breaking point where we realize, wow, I'm getting nowhere. I'm the one who's hurting over here. I'm the one in harm's way and unsafe. This is so mentally abusive and unhealthy. And so we may choose to ghost and ignore the narcissist. Now, here's something that's really, really important. And if there's nothing else you learn from today's message, let this be it. Most people, like 99% of the people who might ghost or ignore the malignant narcissist, we're not doing it for revenge. We are not doing it because we're evil people or something's wrong with us. No, we're sane. We have a sound mind. The reason we are ignoring and ghosting the narcissist, the flying monkeys, etc., is because it is a form of safety, self-preservation, healing, and ending the abuse cycle. Remember now, you cannot heal if you stay in a toxic environment. You cannot heal trauma if you stay in these psychologically unstable, violent relationships. And so by all means, do what you need to do. But let's chat a little bit about what happens. How does the narcissist react when you ghost them? So let's talk about it. So here we go. When we reach the end of our rope, we may simply stop talking to a narcissist. We may reach a place where we block them on social media, we block them on our cell phones, we don't communicate with them anymore. That means there are no phone calls, there are no visits, there are no attending the same social gatherings, there are no writing letters, and there's most definitely no more explaining ourselves, because at this point we know that it's a waste of our breath and precious positive energy. So after we decide to just stop talking, and we might ghost, I'm talking totally just flick of a minute, just like that, we ghost the narcissist. Now, this is really for our own emotional wellness. It's for our peace of mind and another way to amplify our healthy boundaries. Once we see the truth about a narcissist or any other toxic person, we cannot unsee the horrifying nightmare that we have already experienced. You can't unsee what you've already experienced and what you have awoken to. So a lot of us are on a very enlightening spiritual journey where we wake up to all forms of abuse and we realize how it has really, really had a toll on us physically, emotionally, relationally, financially, and on and on and on it goes. There is no more explaining ourselves. There's no more wasting our breath. There is no more arguing and giving away our precious energy to emotional vampires. Next, we have to understand this is going to fire up the narcissist or any other spiteful, hateful, low vibrational person who is extremely toxic and unhealthy for us. So they're going to be highly upset with us. They're going to be ticked off at us. They're going to be absolutely enraged. And therefore, we must expect the unexpected. And so we have to understand that there's a lot of different ways a narcissist or toxic people will react to us after we ghost them, after we walk away, after we go no contact from them. Now remember, if you ghost the narcissist, you did not write them a letter. You did not say, hey, so-and-so, I'm ending our relationship because you are a malignant narcissist and you have traumatized me, you have brutally hurt me, and I refuse to play your games. No, we're not writing the letter. Remember now, we are salvaging our peace of mind, our sanity, and we are just ghosting them and carrying on with our lives. So let's talk about what does the narcissist do and how do they react when we ghost them and ignore them. And so we have to understand there's so many different ways they may react, but we're going to give the rundown. So number one, they have a 2-year-old temper tantrum. They're like a little toddler having a hissy fit. They become hostile and enraged. They may retaliate against you. They may hoover or love bomb you. They may send you emails or text messages. And mind you, this is if you didn't block them already. And they're going to say, oh, I'll never do it again. I'll never hurt you again. Oh, please, just give me one more chance. Keep in mind, you've already given them hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of chances. And every time they failed. Next is number 5. They're going to bait you and provoke you. They are so fired up at you. And this is really where it's going. Okay, are you ready? So here's the narcissist. Here's the narcissist and how they're going to react. How dare you just up and ignore me and ghost me and suddenly block me on your cell phone and social media? How dare you decide that you won't let me hurt you anymore? How dare you stand up for yourself? How dare you have healthy boundaries? How dare you think that you could stop me from controlling you and overpowering you? And that, my friend, is exactly what takes place. The narcissist, they think that they are entitled to trample your boundaries, that they are entitled to hurt you over and over and over again. They think they are entitled to smear your name all over social media and destroy you. They think they're entitled to annihilate you and violate you, and they want you to hurt and hurt badly. So they do think they have this entitlement, and therefore they're going to, and now we're on number 6, seek revenge. They're going to punish you, and you need to be aware now and find very realistic, doable ways to stay safe. Number 7, they are going to continue manipulating you and gaslighting you. Now remember, here's a key. If you did block them on your cell phone, social media, emails, etc., they're going to use the flying monkeys to do the dirty work. They're going to recruit hundreds of flying monkeys to be watching you and then reporting back and giving the rundown of everything they're seeing. They may take snapshots, screenshots, pictures. They may document what you said, what you did. They're going to report back to the narc, and then the narcissist is going to come up with a plan, a little sly tactic to punish you, especially if you did ghost them and amplify your healthy boundaries. Next is number 8. They're going to triangulate every one of your relationships. We're talking everyone. It could be your coworkers, your best friends. It could be people on social media. It could be your family. It could be your husband, your children. It could be strangers. I mean, literally, they stop at nothing and no one. They will triangulate every relationship they could possibly do so, because this is what they crave. They love to stir the pot, they love to step back, and then watch things explode. That is the typical common reaction of a malignant narcissist. Now let's move on. Number 9, woe is me, woe is me. So they're going to cry and play the pity party. They're going to play the victim card, and they're going to spread rumors and lies about you. They're going to say that you are the perpetrator and they are the victim. Oh, how convenient of them. Next is number 10. They're going to create smear campaigns against you, especially on social media. Prepare for the unexpected. Understand now that you're going to see clearly one thing. Who are the people who are really for you and who are the people who are against you? Because it becomes crystal clear who are the people who know you and who respect you and who love you. And you're going to also see the people who hate you, despise you, and take revenge upon you in your life. Next is number 11, and we're back to the flying monkeys now. So the flying monkeys are going to do the bidding for the malignant narcissist. They are going to spy on you, they're going to bully you, they're going to manipulate you, and then they're going to report back to the narcissist, as I already explained. Then, if you are ignoring them and continuing to ghost them, and the narcissist cannot get through to you. And so if they're blocked on your cell phone, if you don't answer say you have a landline phone, you don't pick it up. Say they write you letters and you don't even bother reading them, or you just light it on fire. That's what I say. Burn it, baby. Light that letter on fire. Don't waste your precious time and energy reading their maliciousness and their vengeful letter to you. Light it on fire. Bury the ashes in the backyard and consider yourself the winner, because you walked away and you are free. You are free from the narcissist, and this is good news. Next, we can understand that no one just walks away and ignores and ghosts someone who's a loved one if they're kind and caring and they give you respect and dignity and tender loving care. No, when you ghost someone, typically it's because they are cruel, they are vicious, they are vindictive, they are psychologically unstable, they're harmful, possibly domestically violent, and they have overstepped your boundaries. And typically this is a case of psychological abuse and trauma. Next, we can understand that it is vital for your healing journey and your trauma recovery for you to end the cycle of abuse now. Don't wait for next year. Don't wait for next month. Why are you waiting? What are you doing? Why would you continue having a relationship with a very unstable person or a group of people, such as a dysfunctional family, who continue manipulating you, gaslighting you, bullying you, stalking you, harassing you, and destroying your mental health? So it really is self-preservation. It is a way to care for ourselves when we walk away. So some people might call it family estrangement. Some people might call it going no contact with the narcissist. But we can understand that when you're ghosting someone, really what it is, you really did go no contact. That's really what it is. But you did it in a way where you are preserving your own energy, mental health, stability, sound mind, and peace of mind. And I believe that in some cases this is necessary. And the reason why is, now we're going back to what I already said, that it's really unproductive to continue explaining yourself to a narcissist. They don't care. It's a waste of energy, to keep talking and talking and talking to them when they refuse to take responsibility for their actions. It is extremely fruitless to think that you can pray harder and you could just keep forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving for years and decades this person and all of their transgressions and all of the pain. Do you understand that this is so traumatic to experience narcissistic abuse? It is linked to chronic pain. It is linked to complex PTSD, regular PTSD, anxiety, depression, autoimmune conditions, cancer, and so many other medical conditions. I share this in my book. There is evidence in the medical and scientific world that narcissistic abuse and psychological abuse takes a very hard toll on a person. And it is so dysfunctional and unhealthy. This trauma is so painful and there's long-term consequences. And so it is really key to educate ourselves about narcissistic abuse. It is essential and vital to end the relationship. It doesn't matter if they're your mother, father, siblings, relatives, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, etc., etc. Because at the end of the day, what price are you going to pay for someone to keep abusing you, for someone to have access to you and your life? How much are you going to lose and sacrifice? Why would you even allow someone to put you in that position? Because at some point we have to take a stand. At some point we have to speak up. At some point we have to say, no more. No more abuse. Enough is enough. And we walk away with our head held high. And so today, share with me, have you experienced any form of narcissistic abuse or toxic dysfunctional family? Have you ever ignored or ghosted the narcissist, or it could be your siblings, or it could be someone such as an ex-spouse? If you did ignore them, ghost them, walk away, or go gray rock or no contact, how did they respond? How did they react? Did they blow up? Did they try to punish you? Did they amplify their tactics and start stalking you and start creating smear campaigns and manipulation and all kind of bullying? I'm really curious, whatever happened. And I'm going to stand firm in this, and I'm going to end on this note. Regardless how many times these toxic, psychologically abusive people, including relatives, try to amplify their punishment towards you, and it could be in very, very different ways, because every psychologically abusive person can act slightly different. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to abuse is still abuse, and it's still very, very toxic and unhealthy for us. And so, my friends, today is the day. This is the year to end the cycle of abuse. If you need emotional support, whether it was from narcissistic abuse, whether it was from a dysfunctional family, whether it was sexual assault or something else, I am a certified trauma recovery coach, and I am here to help you unpack your trauma in a safe place, very gently, and healing's on your terms, because you get voice and choice. And so today, feel free to share your story with me. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can do so at danaarcuri.com. Thank you and take care.